Hello, everybody. I think I have closed captioning should be running. So if you click on the little CC button, that should be working for you there. And I think everything else is up and running. So welcome. Oh, awesome. Thank you before. Welcome everybody to Heart of a Hobbit. It's been a few weeks, maybe a month. I'm not sure. I've kind of lost track actually. Um, and to the point where I'm like, wait, which buttons am I pushing here to get started? So, yeah, it's been a few minutes, hasn't it? So, thanks everybody for coming along. I've put a few fun things behind me, so hopefully you'll find that interesting. Maybe I should have scooted them over actually. Well, let's see if I can. Probably not. Um, Anyway, welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the official Lotro Twitch channel here, which is, I believe, twitch.tv/Lotro stream. And I am your host, Little Redhead, and we'll be wandering around some of Middle Earth today. Hello, Cappy B, welcome. So I've been away for a few weeks. We were literally away, actually, went on a holiday, as they call it over here, and went to some islands and had a gorgeous time did some actual outside the game midsummer stuff, so that was a lot of fun. So I definitely, when we got back, it was interesting seeing the in-game midsummer stuff. That was kind of fun. So let's see. Yeah, so Beefer says, looks like I skipped. I last streamed on June 17th. Hi, Casper. So we skipped 24 of June, 1st of July, and 8th of July. I know, right? To be honest, I was taking a nap. That's why I was running late. So, like a good hobbit, I had a snack and then I got tired and I laid down and I took a nap. And both of the kitty cats came and curled up with me for a few minutes. So that was also very sweet. And then my alarm went off and I was like, oh, well, sure, I'll get up in a minute. And it kind of became a long minute. Hi, Casper. Yeah, it comes in funny on the captions sometimes. Oh, I'm ruffling some plastic. He's not really happy about that. There we go. Is that better? All right. I think he's happier now. It has been like super sunny most of the day, off and on. We had a little bit of gray sky, and then it got super sunny again, and now it's getting gray again. I just put the awning out, so of course it might rain. So if it does that, I may have to pop up for a second and put the awning away. We just got it fixed, so I don't want it to get all rained on and damaged again. But so Midsummer Festival happened, and there was this gorgeous new area called Further Home, and it was an island of itself, a couple islands, and you could run around there and do all sorts of fun stuff. And Midsummer is now over, so as of like middle of the night last night. So unfortunately, I am not going to get to show you any of that here on my stream, which is a little bit sad. Well, not for this year, but let's look out and watch the ships go by. Because where I am is at my house in Belfalas, here in the Cape of Belfalas, which is located like here, and where the let's see, I think so. We're kind of this area, I believe, and Further Home was maybe this area or this area. It was Umbar. It was in Umbar. So I think we were actually in this area. So possibly in the same seas as where I'm standing right now, watching these lovely boats go by, and you can see the stars. Here, let me zoom in actually. It's really quite lovely here. You can watch the birds circling. So yeah, I really enjoy the premium housing that they do here in Lotro. So I I have a house here in Belfalas. So what I am trying to do, so what I was trying to figure out what we're going to do today, because, oh yeah, Cafe B says that was really nice. Spent most of midsummer. Yeah. So when we got back from our out of game adventures, aka real life, I got to come back in and check out the island of Furtherhome, and I was so glad they gave us an extension on Midsummer because I was able to actually finish, and I got that legendary tracery token, so that's nice. And I picked up like some music and got the steed, and oh my gosh, what else did I get? Oh, the new outfit, which here, let's take a look at the new. Oh, sorry, my phone is. Yeah, okay. The new outfit is a swimming costume. Oh, let's see. Bathing costume. That's what they called it. And oh, I don't remember all the. Well, here, we'll start with that. So the bathing costume itself looks like this, and it's pretty cute. I love the little, like, huge boat collar thing going on there. Everybody seems to have like this weird belly wearing it. But otherwise, that's pretty cute, and you can change the color of it, so that's really nice. It dyes up really well. So I was thinking about playing around with that, and then there's a bow. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, oh, Seaside bow head wrap. So it looks like that, or maybe I should switch back to a blue so it matches. There, it's not quite the right blue, but so that's the head piece, is this cute bow. Although there's also a hat. I wonder if the hat has the word Seaside, if that's there we go. Okay, so then there's the Seaside hat. Let me zoom back out. Which has this like big feather going on, jaunty feather, and a ribbon running around it. So that's really cute. And then the Seaside tote, which I absolutely love, actually. I think that one's pretty adorable. So a nice little wicker style basket for carrying all of your seaside, all your sandcastle building needs. So yeah, so the bathing costume, the bow, the hat, and the tote. So those are like the new cosmetics from this festival. So pretty cute. So what I was thinking I'm gonna do, so my character was there's a lot of social stuff that takes place on here on Mariadoc, the server, and also on Peregrine. And within little eddies of these social things that happen, there's some fun, silly things that get put together. So one of the traditions that's happened on this server, which was originally on Laurelin, is that the hobbits get together and they have a May Queen, which is kind of like a little midsummer thing. And the May Queen wears the flower wreath on, like, see there, although I've dyed mine. The floral crown, as it is. And throughout the year, they're just known as the May Queen to the other hobbits. And then there's also a May King, can also be nominated as well, but the Queen is the one who's like in charge, and then the May King also is around doing fun things, and it just adds a little bit of flavor to the social gatherings, and it's kind of fun and silly. So one of the things I decided was that I got nominated, and for this year, and you have to accept the nomination. Like, you don't get you won't win if you don't want to play, if you don't want to play around in this idea. So, but I said, yes, I will accept the nomination. That's fine. So there was like 5 of us, I think, that were in the running. But at the end, I think it only came down to like 2 or 3 folks who were actively involved in the idea. And so anyway, I ended up getting the most votes this year, and I won. So that was exciting. So my character's been running around in her floral crown. And so I did that same thing during Midsummer. I had a floral crown, like, in real life, so that was fun. And I told everybody I wanted this to be like a year of music and poetry and lyrics writing. I wanted to help people get inspired to engage with writing lyrics or writing poetry or writing stories that then they can bring into their other socializing that they do in the game. So, for example, Green Dragon Friday is a tradition that happened on Laurelin, is now here on Mariatic. And we get together at the Green Dragon on Friday evenings for a couple hours, and people play music and can sing lyrics with those music. We'll tell stories and riddles and things like that. So I thought it would be fun to help try and inspire people to get more involved with that. Kathy B says, "Congratulations, thank you. I've been trying to have fun with it." So my goal was to have like monthly get-togethers where people can kind of brainstorm and hash out some things they're working on, or just sometimes maybe just a good excuse to like finish that project you're working on, that kind of thing. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we had some sort of a party here at this house that I have here, and make it like a summer beach party kind of thing. So I've been trying to decorate, and I just realized, does this have... Okay, so we do have an ambient environment that we could do, and we could also do ambient music, although I don't necessarily need to do the music, because my thinking was that we could have have this area be kind of set aside, or maybe even this area between these two posts, where people could, stand here and play some music. Although, now that I'm looking at that, that's kind of like... A Hobbit is small, and that area is large. So, but I like the idea. My idea was that you could stand here or right in front of here or something like that and play music, and, you could see the ships going by behind you. And then I also wanted it to be very like, I don't know. I wanted it to kind of be evocative of, being on an island or someplace, very calming and relaxing. Like sipping exotic seeming drinks while you're, looking out at the sea, that kind of a thing. So I went ahead and got a bunch of these really tall planter style things, because they seemed pretty cool and to kind of bring that vibe, right? And then I've got this big old fountain, which is fun. Another fountain over there. So, water and big trees and sandcastle. I've got a picnic blanket. Another sandcastle. For some reason, they just want to just fade in, which is really interesting. Anyway, so my thinking was, if, get a bunch of decorations and see if I can't make this place kind of like funnel people in, but also, and make it obvious that, here's where they perform. Problem is I'm running out of housing hooks. I mean, like, I have filled pretty much every hook. So I've got to figure out, how do I want to arrange this? So that's one thing I could work on today, is trying to figure out how to set up this setup, literal, in a way that gives it that feeling that I'm looking for. And I'm hoping to hold this event later on in August. So I really need to pick a date and, like, put the word out. Now, when you first port in, you start... well, here, I'll just do it. 1 Cape Road, yeah. Those are all the different houses that I have access to for one reason or another. Mostly because they're premium houses that I bought. Okay, so when you phase in, you come in right here. So I want, your first view when you arrive to kind of entice you to go forward. And so the problem is that my yard doesn't... Let's see, how far does my yard go? There are limitations on how far you can move yard items and still have them be in the yard. They're very particular about that, because they don't want decorations to end up in other people's yards, which fair enough. I mean, yeah. So let's, oh, I have a sandcastle there. Well, you know, I think we might undo that sandcastle. Okay, that's as far as we can bring this. That needs to be in a huge yard. So I was thinking maybe I could just swap it for the sandcastle, but no, that is not possible. I did pick up a Midsummer stable. In fact, I probably have another. I have probably more of them in my pocket. But so that's an option to like maybe. What if I bring this over towards the house? Okay. And we turn it so it's like, hey, here's the stable to put your ponies in. And maybe that would, you know, kind of draw people in. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So you phase in somewhere around here, right? And if that's the first thing you see, let me turn that off so you don't see all these little hooks. Maybe that would be like, oh, hey, there's a Midsummer stable. Okay, I go this way. And then once you get to here, you know, does it make it more obvious, hey, come further on? You know, I feel like that stable might be blocking some of the other visual, though. This is why decorating takes a while. I'm also a little sleepy, so there's a little bit of that. But what if I push this here? Does it still have that kind of, you know, beckoning kind of look to it? Yeah, kind of. So, so I guess what I really need to do then, instead of bringing this more towards me, we need to push it further into the field, further into the yard. Oops, I want to click on this. Yeah, okay, so we actually want to bring it probably this way. Oh, is that as far as it goes? Oh, interesting, because the yard spot is so far over here, isn't it? And it really, those enormous yard hooks, it really seems to want to keep it within the boundaries of that enormous yard. Which, okay, fine, but it's kind of a bummer because I want to have it like further over. So maybe I should just get a mushroom tent and put it there instead, because hobbits do enjoy mushroom tents. You know, that's always a winner at a party. All right, well, we can keep working on this. So my idea, though, is still that this section is kind of like, so I want everything to kind of like a hug. I want everything to bring you in a hug so that you are most comfortable in this middle space. Which means the sandcastle is in the way. That's fair. So we're going to move the sandcastle out of here. And what's going to go there instead? Or there-ish? The picnic blanket is a maybe. The funny thing is how things are just phasing in and out is so weird. I'm wondering what's going on here. All right, well, let's see. What if we... Okay, so I think maybe I should try and bring these to create more of like, not necessarily a wall, but maybe a little bit of a wall, you know what I mean? So you picked up, Cafe B says, I picked up a lot of midsummer plants for the Erebor geode house. To turn it into some sort of indoor botanical garden. Work in progress still. Yeah, I really enjoyed these, that I got these giant planters, and I just realized that some of them are on a different character. But yeah, like this is, what is this one called? A large tree garden, which isn't that cool. It's got a lot going on. And then we've got the grove of trees here. And then I got the Jakarta? Hang on. Large potted flowering jacaranda. It's not a plant I'm familiar with. So there's that one. And then behind it is the large planted wisteria. So these are nice and big, and I think that's fun. So before it says, you mentioned that the playing space felt wide for hobbits. It looked like there was a space to the right with closer pillars. Would that work for smaller players? Um, so, well, this has, okay, so let me walk through my thinking here. So this has a wide open space, and you can see the ships going by behind. So if you are hanging out here and dancing and sitting and whatnot, it's a nice frame. If you go over here, I can move the sundial. This does make kind of like a playing spot though, right? It's like almost got a spotlight, but then you're kind of, the lighting doesn't quite work right there, does it? Like, it's always backlighting if you're looking at it from the front. So I don't think I like that, because even though it's a pretty look, I don't think that's reduced awareness. I'm not surprised. I don't think that's quite going to work. And then, yeah, I think the same thing over here. So I think that makes the most sense, is to have it there. And you know what I could do is I could put something kind of like for example, oh yes, that object does nothing. That is true. Like if I move this to like, or something like this, maybe not this specific thing, but oh my goodness. Oh, the angle, the XYs are like not on my grid. Okay, not on the grid of my head. All right, so like if I had something, you know, well, maybe more a little bit, like if I had something more like here, and then something kind of like, you know, here, and then that would be like bringing out the boundary of the stage. So it'd be like that. Well, yes. Before, it's too bad for the audience member who gets stuck behind the lily. I can't see anything. Well, I wasn't planning to leave it there. Yeah, just shove this sundial and stuff in front of people. You're like, all right, here you go. Good luck seeing everything. And the sundial doesn't necessarily need to be here, but it is cute, so I've left it for now. Hang on. Okay, so, and of course, like I said, I realized that some of the things I was thinking about putting here, well, I picked up some more of those trees. Oh, actually, did I put them in my shared storage? Let me see if I did. I was doing some tidying at some point before I logged off, but I'm not sure if I grabbed how much of stuff I grabbed and put in here. So I did that thing where the, oh, you know what? The breakfast table might actually be good for this. Let me grab that. So I transferred some of my characters from the old servers, the old 32-bit servers. So like from like Laurelin, Evernight, Landreval, those kinds of servers. So I moved my characters from those to the new 32-bit servers like Peregrine and Meriadoc. Then there was a lot of conversation about how things had not shown up from people's transfers. Like there were some things that were missing. So SSG's been working on that, and they came up with a solution. And it basically, though, like the stuff that didn't transfer over ended up back on, was available now, but it was on your original server. So you needed to, you know, transfer it from there to your new server. But I had already moved all my characters. But I was looking at the transfer wizard one day, and it listed those other servers, which it wouldn't if there wasn't anything there, theoretically. So I went ahead and did a shared items transfer from those servers over to my new servers. And a bunch of stuff showed up in my main shared storage, I think. And then, yeah. And then also, hang on. excuse me. I just started sneezing like half an hour before I started streaming. Maybe 20 minutes. Like I started sneezing right before I started streaming, so I apologize. I'm still playing with the interior, so don't judge here yet. But and then also, yeah, I put this here just because I was being a goof. I'll tell you what this is here in a second. Anyway, the chest is there. And then in the shared housing storage, a bunch of stuff showed up. So I'm not sure if I was actually missing anything or if it kind of duplicated things and sent me things more than once. At any rate, I got a bunch of stuff that I wasn't expecting to sort through. Yes, before it says, I don't mean to alarm you, but your floor seems to be on fire. Indeed. Let me have a quick look here, see if there's anything here that I want to put outside. I mean, again, we're talking like summer beach house style, right? Oh, you know what? That midsummer garden arch, though, might be a good one. Do I have more than one of those? I don't. Maybe I don't. Or if I do, it's in a carryall. You can't search inside carryalls, so I'll just grab that one. It's fine. So yeah. So a couple of premium housing options ago, when they came out with the Rohan premium housing, there's this. Actually, do I have a Rohan house? Oh yeah, right. My winter house. Let me just show you this one real quick. I'm trying to do my houses in themes this year right now. It's like a thing I'm trying to play around with and see how that how that comes out. So my Rohan house, I've turned it into like a wintry wonderland. And I was thinking it'd be fun to do some sort of a wintry gathering of some sort here. So I'll just show you my Rohan house real quick. But yeah, so I've got like an effect on here that gives it this whole winter snowy thing going on. And yeah, I've got a lot of snow stuff. But anyway, but this house won't show you what I'm trying to talk about. So when they came out with the Rohan neighborhoods, they created a housing type which is called a mead hall. And the mead halls have a new housing hook called a fire pit. So let's see if the person who owns this mead hall has done anything special, or well, has done anything with it, and if they have permissions to let me in. I was gonna, Bull Roarer, the test server, is open right now, and I was actually thinking about taking you all over there, but for some reason I need to reinstall it, and I did not leave myself time for that. So I tried to do just the updates, and nope, there's a file that's not good, so I'll have to reinstall that. So sorry, I was going to take you to Bull Roarer today, and then we could just go and buy any old house we want. Yeah, okay. So this is the mead hall. Not that. Which, let me see if you can see it from the side. There you go. Look at the it is a massive structure. It is something. Look at that. Isn't that wild? It's so big. Okay, let's see if we can go in. This one obviously belongs to somebody. They've done some decorating. And the answer is yes. Oh, thank you, person, for letting me in your house. And they've decorated. So this thing in the middle, and it extends from, you know, here all the way to the other end of this hall. So it is massive. Oh, we have some raiders. Hello, raiders. From the Masters of Dungeons. Awesome. Well, welcome. So over there's the door. I'm pointing like as if I'm in the room. The door over there is where we came in. At the far, far end over there. So this thing here in the middle is one housing item, which makes sense because this hall is massive and you want to have something that can fit in this space and take up all this space and make it feel, used and inhabited and like there's something going on and all that sort of thing. So, so this housing item now is they have these fire pits, and there's like this version, which is the long roasting pit. So you have like a fire all the way along with a couple of these large stone pieces in the middle, and you've got your coals running all the way along with food. There's another version that's basically a series of tables. And it's all just tables next to each other with benches on either side. And it has some decorative stuff in the along. Let me see if I have that set up. I think I don't. Let me go to Edmere Road. Let's see if I have it there. So these houses were the first place where this housing hook came from. This fire pit hook. And like I said, they came up with like half a dozen different versions of things that you could put in those hooks. And so one of them is, as you saw, the roasting thing. There's the series of tables. There's a series of tables with food on them. There's a series of fire pits where it's like a fire pit and then a gap and then a fire pit and then a gap and then a fire pit. But again, it's just one single thing. So they've included that hook in other homes, including, oh my gosh, I have really not decorated here. Holy moly. Including the Hobbit version, the Lindeby homesteads. So this is that same housing hook. Let me see if I have, let me show you what it looks like in here. Let's see, I have my shared storage, go to my housing bucket. Did I put them in here? Let's see. I may have actually just sold off the ones I didn't want anymore, because I had purchased all of them, and then at some point I was like, I'm not enjoying these, so why do I even have these? And so I went ahead and just sold them. Because you can just buy them from the vendor. It doesn't take a lot of questing or anything like that. Nope. I think I got rid of them. That's okay. Because I had them over on Laurelin. I did have one. I'm just looking here. I did have one in one of my Hobbit houses. Oh, here's a small fire pit. Oh, that might not be the same thing. That is not. That is something completely different. But here, we'll swap in. Nope, that is a different one. So you see how this thing is just a small item like that. But the stuff we just saw a minute ago was basically this, but duplicated over and over and over again. It's the same thing with the tables. It's just the tables, and they're just duplicated over and over and over again. The problem is the tables. Yeah, this doesn't really show. They have like they're kind of a wood. They're very wooden and like well used, and a bit like chunks taken out of them and stuff like that. That kind of a look. And then there's also like decorative pieces on the table that are like wrought metal with like horses' heads. And so it's very Rohirric, which is lovely, except I'm in a hobbit hole, and that's not really what I'm looking for. So they have this fire pit spot, and I end up just putting one little teeny thing in it, basically, which is kind of funny. Let's see if I stuck them in here. That's okay. But, I mean, basically that's what's going on there. Let's take a quick look in here, though, just in case I do have some. Oh, I do have a long fire pit still. All right. Oh, it just got sucked into one of those bags, didn't it? No, maybe not. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Yeah, so let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's a large fire pit, not with food hanging off it or anything, but basically, you've got these large chunks here. Decorative. Oh, I can't get on that? What? Oh. With the table one, you can get on the table. And you can put stuff, like you can take a hook from somewhere else and basically move something and set it so it looks like it's on the table. So I did a bunch of that previously and put a bunch of like the food from Midsummer actually. A lot of those platters that you can get. So I used like all the hooks in the room in my Rohan house that when I had a meat hall and just put everything out there so it looked like it was on the table, which was fun. But it, again, used up almost all the hooks that I had. And it doesn't have that rohiric stuff on here that I was talking about, that metal rot looking stuff. But like even this, you can see like we got these giant torches. So here's the problem with using one of these in like a Hobbit house. I can't get through. And as you saw, I can't get over. Can I go around the other end? No. So it's actually kind of bigger than the house as well, because you notice it kind of is like sticking out through there. So it's not an ideal item in any of my Hobbit decorating. You can do, I've done something like this where basically you shove it over. And so then you've only got part of it that you're dealing with and you can go around it. But, it's still not quite, yeah, it's big and silly and doesn't really fit a Hobbit aesthetic. Interesting why my ceiling is looking multicolored. That's fun. Oh, because I've got light here. I really haven't done much decorating with this particular house. I've done a lot more with other houses. Yeah, this one's kind of like, this one, so each of my houses, like I said, I've kind of got a different theme going on. So my main premium house is Broadmead Lane. And that's where I've got like the crates that you can check on daily and get universal ingredient packs out of. I've also got one of those, here I'll show you real quick, housing decorations that is a dock master. And so it can send me anywhere I want to go that has a dock that I've visited previously and unlocked. So this is also in Lindleby. Lindleby is my favorite premium housing neighborhood right now. All right, so let's put that out of the way. So this is my house, and I've done a little bit more decorating here. I still haven't quite figured out what I want to do here. So I've just been kind of tossing stuff in the yard. But basically, I've got my 2 ingredient crates, so you can, if you're a free-to-play player, you can click on the regular ingredient crate, and that'll give you 3. And if you're a premium player like VIP or lifetime subscriber, any of that business, there's also a premium ingredient crate, and you can click on that. It gives you another 6. So in one day, you can collect 9 per character, and that's every 22 hours. So I have those here by my front door. So like when I phase in here, it's actually out here, which is so weird. And sometimes it has me come in facing the other way. I'm like, that's somebody else's house. I'm trying to go here. This is my house. So yeah, so I've got these right by the door. And then if I click on the ship there, that little boat, bitty bitty boat. Oh, I can't do that while I was moving. I didn't finish blowing the horn. There we go. Little dock master shows up. And you can click on her and she's got all these different destinations. So if I'm like, hey, I just need to get to Buckland real quick, off I go. So that's really cool. I haven't unlocked King's Gondor because I haven't been there yet. Oh, there's some docks in Lothlorien. I should go unlock that. That'd be cool. Now, if you have something like this and you haven't been there before, but you like really, really, really want to get there and you don't want to have to go through finding it on landscape and all that, you can pay 1 mithril coin and it will take you directly there. And then you can be like, okay, now I've discovered it. I mean, make sure you interact with the person to make sure that you've discovered it, but then it should unlock for you. But I haven't done that yet. Yeah, that's cool. So they're adding new docks from time to time, which is great. Okay, so then I have the dock master, and then I also have a stable master right here at the front of my yard as well. Oh, she ended up on top. Hey, she's climbing. So that also, I think she's the same as a far-ranging stable master, perhaps. So all of those, destinations where you've got like a little bit of one or a handful of places in a lot of different locations. So that's also really handy. So I've got, those folks by the front of my door because this is what I consider like my main house. I've got one of my ponies over there eating the hedge. Maybe I should put two of them there. It'd be fun. I've got Sam and one of the elders from here. They're over here having a conversation. I've put out some trees. No, I don't think the early spring trees are what I want. And I also got a bunch of floating lanterns, and I love putting those out kind of like along the pathway. So you just kind of come riding along the pathway, follow the floating lanterns. That's always fun. It's just stuff. You can see, so like I said, I've kind of just dropped things in the yard, and I'm like, I'll come back to this later. So I love having these little animal houses. So when you click on them, a little critter comes out. So like the hedgehog has Olivia and Oliver that comes out. The shrew mouse house has Dusty the shrew. The fire pit of the dragon horde doesn't actually come out. He just, oh, I can't move. Hang on. Let me see if I can get to the side and do it. There we go. So you'll be able to see it, what he does. He lifts his little head. He lifts his little head and goes, and then he goes back to sleep. So cute. Oh, and then the chicken coop. The chickens don't come out, but they're doing their thing. They're squawking and walking. Thank you. And then what am I missing? I'm missing like two other animal houses. Honey badger. I don't have the honey badger one. And the turtle one, but I haven't. That one you have to actually get through. There's a dungeon you have to earn that one from. So I don't have that one on this server. We had it over on. We have it over on Treebeard right now, so it'll probably end up over on Peregrine. Oh, there's my other Midsummer stable. Oh well, no biggie. And then I've got these homestead stables, and they're really cool. So yeah. So anyway, so this is like my main house, and it's like, I'm trying to make it very Hobbit-y feeling. Oh yeah, I finally got one of these. The little perch of the silent hunter. I love cats and cat varieties, and so there's our little lynx hanging out, chilling out by the thing. Now that's an idea. Would I want to bring that to the Hobbit house, the summer beach party house? I keep calling it a beach party. It's not going to be a beach party because there's no beach. I might, I might just grab that because that might be. It's not very big, so it's like it takes up a small space, but it might be worth having with me there. Okay. And then we've got some ponies hanging out here in the, over here. Although, why is he not eating the, oops, not that. Perfect picnic stage should be over here. Oh, that's probably why. It might be considered too far. Come on. It's giving me the bug where it's saying it's too far out of my zone. So even though it's still in my yard, it's saying it's going too far and I can't do it. I just want him to eat the hay in my own yard. Is that so much to ask? Well, we'll leave him there and see if he still stays there or not. Sometimes they reset. Sometimes not. Okay. So yeah, so that's my Hobbity house. And then I have my personal house in the Shire, and then we have our kinship house in the Shire, and then there was something about that. Oh yeah, hang on, I need to pop over there. I think that I've heard there was an olifant in the yard at one point, and I was mentioning it the other day in kinship stuff, and they're like, "Well, you must not have been by the kin house recently because it's back." Like, yay! But where? Where is the Oliphant? Oh, Nanu's hiding place. That's the one. Another one. I don't have that because you have to earn that through. Oh, what is it from? I can't remember. But isn't that guy cute? Little turtle running around. Oh, hey. Ah ha 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 ha. Okay, I had missed it. It was next to the kin house. And I think, how did we get up there? I don't remember how we got up there before, but I swear we did. Maybe there's just like enough invisible walls to, that you can possibly get up there. And maybe if you're like next to something that you can climb on and then jump. Maybe that's how we did it. Maybe we got on top of something and then jumped on top of the mammoth. Isn't that cool though? I love that. Oh, nice. Before says, I watched the first half of The Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim on my flight, and the Oliphants made an appearance. That's awesome. See, isn't that so cute? It's a little makeshift Oliphant, a Mumak. So cute. I could have sworn there was a bigger one, but maybe it was just bigger in my memory. And I love how it's like got the barrels as you go up, and then like what pumpkins for eyes. I mean, I think this is the same as the one that's in the Minas Tirith, in the Mumakan Keep, I think it is. Yeah. So this is the house that I have, but in a different neighborhood. Yeah. So yeah. So I've got that, and then so we've got the Rohan one, which I've turned into like a wintry Yule themed kind of place. So I might do a fall or winter event at that house. Yeah, at the Mumakan Keep. Awesome. Before it confirms. Well, I was just there a couple days ago. During the Midsummer Festival. But that's been a couple days now. So yeah, we've got our little snow brawler training dummy. Got a bunch of pine trees outside, the snowy versions. I've tried to put steeds out that were kind of the snow style. And then we've got these cool lantern posts, which I think are just gorgeous. So I put them along the trail here, and then you start to run into broken snowmen. You're like, what's going on? And then you get up here to the snowball arena. I went to an event the other day, and it was at a Lindleby house, so it was a flatter yard than this, and they had gotten 4 of these snowball arenas and placed them, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so you could just kind of like run from one to the next, and that was so much fun. That was great. That was a great idea. Oh yeah, and then we've also got this over here if you want to like kind of get out of the snow. Check this out. Okay, so it says it's a glittering pavilion. You can light it up. Ta-da! Now all the little gems are lit up, and the streamers of lights there are all lit up and stuff. Look, that's kind of cool. What was that? I heard a noise with the cats. I wonder if they're having a scuffle in their tower. I think they are. Silly guys. Yeah, they are. I'm just seeing like little pieces of a cat face or a cat tail here and there. And they've definitely got this kind of look with each other. How funny. I wonder why they're being like that. Oh well. Normally they're pretty chill with each other. Although they do run around. And they've got some board droppings out here. But and I went ahead and threw a fire pit and stuff like that out here. Oh, and then inside though. Now I haven't I don't think I've decorated the barn. Let me double check. I think I need to come back to this one. Ooh, but I might have extra floors, so I could decorate it inside. Although, like, oh, how funny. It's not resolving yet. Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, it's not a big space, but I could, decorate it. It's got a handful of hooks in here. Like, it's not exact. I mean, yeah, we've got some decent number of hooks in here, so I could do something here. I have to figure out what I want to do in here. Actually, it has a lot more hooks than I realized. Unfortunately, I don't think I can drag any of these hooks out into the yard. Otherwise, that would be super cool. All right, give it a second to resolve, and the wintry stuff comes back. I will clear that up. And then inside, and the inside's not perfect yet. I've just kind of been throwing stuff down, and then I'm like, I'll come back and rearrange it or something if I want to. But so yeah, we've got some flooring. We've got the icy floor. We got like a bunch of snowmen, snow globes. Hey, yeah, what you doing? Okay, tell me all about it, Casper. He's been a little wacky today. And then yeah, I've got one of these walls, and so I just shoved it there. So it's like basically covering up one of these walls. The floor down here, I'm not sure about the grassy floor. That'll probably change. And we've got a grassy floor here. I'll probably change that out for one of these once I have another one. But yeah, I've got the, the Yule music going and everything. So, yeah, he's pretty audible. That's excellent. Casper, you made it on stream. Good job, buddy. Yeah, so that's that one's coming together. It's not quite there, but it's coming together. And then Edgemere we've already been to. So Edgemere Road is my other Lindleby house, and it's really close to the center of town, which is one of the main reasons why I chose it, because I like the location. And I was thinking that it's kind of where I will put perhaps lore breaking things that we end up with that I want to decorate with. Because right now I'm trying to keep my 2 Broadmead Lane one, my main house, as stuff that you could theoretically see, at a Hobbit place. But if there's things that I'm like, that's a bit out of place or whatever, I was thinking it could go to Edgemere Road. So, but again, I haven't spent. I get little bursts of inspiration with decorating. Is basically how it comes across. Hey, what you doing, buddy? There was a footstool right behind me, behind the couch, and he's been sleeping there and hanging out there, and I've just swapped it, and it's now over on this side, and I don't think he's certain about this, so I probably after the stream will swap it back, because he's like, whoa, you've changed my world, man. Not okay with this. Let's see, and then One Cape Road is where we were, and that's where I'm trying to make that kind of summer resort, summer house. And then, yeah. So, all right. So let's hop back over there. See what we can come up with. The other thing I could do is, today, that is, during the stream, is, my legendary item reward track. I did try to do a lot of the Midsummer Festival with 2 characters. Well, I got definitely every day with 1 character, and then 3 or 6 days with another character. But I spent, I did end up doing both Further Home and Minas Tirith with that other character. So she got a lot more, because every quest was giving legendary item reward experience for this. So I am up to box number 33 on this server, and I have a month and 5 days. So my goal is, so with these reward tracks, they have basically a handful of things. You've got coffers that give you ancient script, which is the currency that you need in order to play around with your legendary items. Oh, I guess I could take my fishing pole off. I feel like I'm missing. I am. There it is. Okay, so for example, this is one of my legendary items. This is my dagger. And let me close some windows so they're not so distracting. So in order to, like, say, purchase this tracery to go into this slot, that takes ancient script. But what I like to do is try to use, you've got like these little cracked, no, not, well, these little, what are they called? Cracked tracery? No, tokens, I think. Hang on, I'll show you one real quick. I've still got pit. Actually, there's one here. Tracery token. And if I open that, it'll be at my level. So I'm waiting to open it until I'm ready to use it. Because I might... Well, we'll see. Anyway, this tracery token, I could open that and then use that plus a little bit of ancient script. And that would buy me a tracery to go here. So on that legendary item reward track, oops, not that one, the other one. You've got boxes that give you that currency, the ancient script. You've got enhancement runes, which you can use to enhance the socket, not the actual tracery in it, but the socket it goes into. So, which is really nice because then if you change out what tracery you have in there, the socket remains upgraded. You're in a wacky mood. What are you up to? All right. I think you might be settled for a moment. Yeah, before cracked and shattered tokens of various levels. So they have those. So then, yeah, the enhancement runes, an actual tracery itself, more enhancement runes, and then more script. So it just kind of repeats that pattern over and over again. So script, rune, tracery, rune, script. It does that all the way through to level 100, except every once in a while they throw in a little something else. Like here, there's a sealed chest of embers and figments. That's at 15. A tracery token. And there's different levels of these tracery tokens. Some are better than others. Anyway, so at 25, 50, 75, and 100, that's where they have things that don't have anything to do with the legendary items themselves. And that's the stuff that I'm interested in. Because my legendary items are... I'm pretty on top of it. I'm not needing a lot of extra stuff right now. And in fact, my ancient script is currently at 36,000 and the cap is 10,000. So if I... that's because I transferred stuff in. But if I do anything now, like if I open a box that gives me some of that ancient script, it just goes poof into the air. It doesn't exist anymore. So currently what I've been doing is I'm just saving all those boxes that have ancient script in them, but you know, it's taking up a lot of inventory space. So there's definitely a part of me that's like, well, maybe I just toss them. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll have to think about it. Anyway, 25, though, gives me a coffer of a jade speckled snake. So that's for one character, a cosmetic pet. 50 is a coffer of the Heroes of the Dwarf Halls. So it has a cracked tracery token, and then a housing bundle called Heroes of the Dwarf Halls. So this is new. So we don't know what's in it, although, I mean, if you saw it on Bull Roar, you probably got to see what was in it, because they do preview a lot of this stuff. And so you could probably look at like the Lotra Wiki or Decodemu. They probably have it up on those websites. But anyway, so that's probably Dwarven style housing stuff, I would guess. 75 has a coffer of the Elven Outpost. So, a cracked tracery token and an Elven Outpost housing bundle. Again, I haven't seen it, but I think that would be interesting given that we're expected to get Elven premium housing this year. And so having some elfish, stuff would be pretty cool. So let me see. Let me just do a quick search. Lotro Elvish Outpost. Yeah. What all comes in it? All right. Looks like it's 3, 5, 6, 7 different items. There's an archway, an Aragian archway. Oh, which looks like the ones that you see at Limiel's vineyards. I think it's one of those. And then there's, let's see, a large map of Lothlorien, a Lorien weapon rack, 2 of those, a pristine Aragian gazebo, a pristine Aragian lookout, and and then a pristine petal structure, which looks like kind of a flower, like a giant flower. It's very pretty. So a regular version of that and a small version of that, and you get 2 of each of those. So I was thinking, that would be cool to have when the Elven housing comes out. And then level 100 is a striped jerboa. Although I have to say, like, the Elven stuff, the flowers seem cool, but I'm not sure if I would really be that worried if I didn't get it. So I don't know. Like, I'm always torn about these reward tracks because a lot of times you can't get the stuff that's there any other way. Like, there's a dance emote that you can't get, that you could only get through the reward track, and that was early on, and you only get one, and so only one of your characters gets it, and so that's kind of sad. But anyway, so I don't know. I can't decide if I want it or not, is what I'm saying. All right. Well, let's get back to doing a little bit of decorating this house. I noticed when I was standing here. Oh, Megan says hi. Hello, Megan. That you can see those, so that's kind of cool. Still not sure about that. I'm thinking maybe I should just replace that with some trees. Let's just do that. And I have the trees on me now. Just carrying them around in my pocket, right? Aren't I? Or did I not? I thought I picked up the trees. Let's see. How was your little vacation away from the stream? It was really nice, actually. Thank you. We went to some islands, and that was lovely. And we got to enjoy midsummer happening. And yeah, it was really neat. Got to see a midsummer pole get put up. Got to wear a floral crown in real life. Just like my character in the game. Yeah, so lots of little stuff like that was it was really neat. It was really good adventure. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So I participated in real life Midsummer Festival. I did. Yeah, I didn't go and actually there was some dancing, and I didn't go and participate in the dancing. I was feeling a little worn, and we were actually getting ready to go back to the place where we were staying and do a midsummer feast. So I was like, well, I don't want to miss out on that. Oh, you know what? These are the same tree, aren't they? I just put the same tree down twice, didn't I? Let's maybe swap that out. There we go. So that was great. And oh my gosh, so much, a lot of like salmon and herring were very popular. And I definitely enjoy, I love salmon. I eat it all the time, actually, as much as I can. And And then the herring was also nice. There was some interesting things they did with it that I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Um, so yeah, it was very tasty food. The Hobbit in me was very happy. Wait, what did I get rid of the Midsummer? What did I do with the? Oh, I picked up the stable. I don't remember doing that. That's really funny. Although, hey, yeah, I was thinking about. Well, it was here, wasn't it? I just grabbed it and yoinked it right out of there. Because I was thinking about putting the archway. But yeah, so it was really funny because I got to. We met up with some fellow hobbits. Um, so yeah, I got to kind of be like my hobbit with the floral wreath in real life as I am in the game, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so the Midsummer pole was significant in size, and so it took half hour or more to put it up, and a lot of people, and there's like a captain who's involved of like keeping everybody on track of who's doing what, and I mean it was a big thing. It was really fascinating. That was quite good. Oh, speaking of food, says before, it's lunchtime, stepping away for a bit. All right, well, enjoy your lunch. I'm just thinking maybe I'll move this fountain over to the other side, move it over there. And then I can move something, I can take one of these hooks and put an archway here, and that will help also kind of draw people down the road. Yeah, I think I'm going to steal this one. And then we'll put... So this is where I get, I get little spurts of inspiration. It's like, aha, now I know what to do. Okay, so let's take a look at how that looks. All right, so you phase in, because this is how people are going to probably arrive, and so yeah, and that I feel it kind of draws you in, right? It beckons to you, come down here, this is where we go in. Which means these don't necessarily have to be quite so far out. If I could scooch them further in, that would be okay. But this is probably fine. Okay, so come through here, and then I want to, yeah. All right, so we're gonna definitely, I want it to kind of then be like a little bit of like kind of stuff along here and then stuff along here to encourage you to go into the center area. All right, we're getting closer. I figured if I took some dedicated time on this today, I might make some progress. Oh, that's our Old Man Willow over there. Is this one of the new 64-bit servers? Asks Megan. Yes, it is. It's Mariadoc, which is one of the roleplay encouraged servers. And so it's one of the more, social servers. So I'm trying to set up my house for an event I'm anticipating doing, Megan. So everyone's pretty much transferred now. I mean, a lot of people, I think so, because the 32-bit servers are going to be closing at the end of August. So you've only got the rest of this month and next month in order to get all your transfers done. Yeah. And then Treebeard is one of the legendary servers, and it was due for also that kind of end of August, we're going to assess what we're doing situation. But I guess SSG kind of assessed early and decided that they were ready to move on. So they went ahead and announced, for those of you who didn't hear this yet, they announced that they're closing not only the regular 32-bit servers, but also Treebeard, because it is also a 32-bit server. So They are closing all of their 32-bit servers at the end of August. So those of us who were very active still on Treebeard. Now, granted, it's not high numbers. Like we're talking probably. I mean, when I would log into Treebeard, I would see like non-anonymous people in the 20s, usually, sometimes in the teens. So not a lot of people that were obviously active on the server, but you know we were kind of a dedicated bunch. And I was completely prepared to still keep going for the next, 3 to 4 years. Because the way it was working is we were getting updates every 5 to 6 months. And so we had 5 to 6 months to really explore a region, do all of the stuff in that region, really focus on that. Any like dungeons and things like that that required not required but where you really wanted to have like a handful of people, like 6 people or something, you'd be able to find other people who were also working on that because the entire server is kind of focused on wherever we are, at that moment. And it's a nice slower pace and you can really take your time. And yeah, it was just I was really enjoying the Treebeard experience. So that was lovely. And I mean, it opened the last day of June of 2021. So we've had 4 years on Treebeard. And that was great. Like I said, I really enjoyed it there. It was a really nice atmosphere. Unfortunately, when Anor and Angmar, sorry, that's not right. When Angmar and Mordor opened, the new 64-bit legendary servers, a lot of people who had been active on Treebeard moved, well, not moved, but started characters on Angmar and Mordor and got very, very active on those and therefore no longer were active on Treebeard. So we definitely saw a large, drop off of activity at that time. Those of us who were still very active on Treebeard noticed that, and so I think that contributed to, the population on Treebeard just continuing to dwindle. The other problem that you run into is when you start a legendary server, a whole bunch of people come flooding on and to try it out, and then, they'll be on for a little while, and then that'll trickle off, and then, like as people then like you get further and further away from beginning level, from zero, from level 5, coming out of the intro. And so most of the people on the server who are active are kind of sticking with whatever's going on that server at the time. So like when Moria opens, everybody's flooding into Moria because they're already level 50 and they're ready to go, right? And so everybody's running through Moria. They're, between level 50 and level 60 at that point. So if you start a new character, you're like, okay, I can get to 50, I can get to 60 pretty quick. Like that's, I can do that like without trying too hard. I can catch up to you guys, no problem. Okay, I'll do that. But then once those folks move on to, what's the one after that? Dol Guldur and all of that. And then they move on to like the Great River, or, they're off in Rohan. And now you're talking about level 80, 90, you get over to Minas Tirith and all that, and you're talking like level 100. And then you have somebody who's starting, he's like, hey, I'd want to try this experience too. Well, they're at level 5 and trying to work their way through, and all these people are like really further on. And so nobody's doing that same content that those, they're far away now. So you get this kind of decreasing population because new people aren't coming in, because the where the majority of the population is so far away that they are basically playing solo. And if they're going to play solo, is there a reason to play solo on a legendary server? Sometimes there is. Sometimes because you want like the cosmetic, there's cosmetics you can get, there's housing items you can only get on legendaries. There's titles you can only get on legendaries. So, if you are like wanting to get those, then yeah, sure, go, playing solo on a legendary server, I can understand that. But, if you're like me, I enjoy the group questing aspect of things, and I like doing stuff with other people. That's really where my jam is. And so playing solo on a game is kind of boring to me, in general. I mean, there's exceptions to that, but in general, like I'm drawn to that experience where I'm playing with other people. So for me, joining a legendary server after it's already moved so far forward, that's not very attractive to me. And so I can see why a lot of other people might not also find that an attractive experience. So the legendary servers do have that kind of ever decreasing active population. Like people still have characters on there, but they just don't play them. Like I started on Mordor when that started. I started up a couple of characters over there, and I was pretty active with. I had 5 characters, and I kept them active, especially 2 of them. Got them to level 50, no problem. And I was participating in like the server thing where you go and attack the big bad and all that, and that was fun. And then we got into Moria, and I was like, oh, I didn't get around to it right away. And then everybody's kind of moved on. I'm like, oh, well, now I'm by myself, and I don't know if I'm going to get around to it. And like, I stopped playing on Mordor. So now I don't know where Mordor is at. They're like 70, 80, I don't know, something like that, for their cap. And I'm not planning to try and catch up. So I'm doing that thing that happens, right? So we expected that on Treebeard. And when you get to Rohan, there's just something that people just don't like about it. I don't know. I like Rohan. I think it's really interesting, and it's very atmospheric. Now, it's not as straightforward, like go here, go here, go there, as it is like kind of in the early. I think Region did a really great job, the early levels, of like keeping it pretty streamlined, of like, hey, we want you to go over here and do these things. Okay, now that you're done here, go over here and do those things, that kind of thing. I really like that. And I feel like Rohan, it's so wide, and there's so many places you can go, and then there's times when you're like, where am I supposed to go now? And it's not completely obvious. So I can see why, from just maybe a logics standpoint, that people might get frustrated, and just peace out when it gets to Rohan. But I don't know, if you can keep on it. I mean, I have B4 to help me out, so that helps a lot, to keep me on track, keep us in order. Because he will look at like, I forget what it's called, but there's like not a plugin specifically, but like an add-on, whatever, you can look at it, and it will tell you which quests you have done in a region and which quests you're missing. And so he'll use that sometimes to help track where we are and what we haven't done. And that'll help us sometimes, find those. Because one of the things in Rohan that's interesting is there's a lot of interwoven storylines. But to pick it up, sometimes you've got to finish something over here in order for this storyline then to continue on. And that's interesting, but it can also feel a bit chaotic, especially when it's like your first time through there. So a lot of people do drop out of Rohan when it comes to Rohan as well. So that also is a thing. Yeah, Megan says, it seems like a lot of people hit max level, do the instances, then wait for the next expansion on legendary servers. It seems like there are some people that are, so for me, the legendary experience is, well, for Treebeard, for me, definitely was the taking my time, right? The slower, more methodical kind of like, let's just really enjoy this zone and take our time with it and have a much slower experience. But for some people, they want to do those like the dungeons and things like that, that you can only do at server cap. So like when the server cap is 90, and we're like 80, and it opens up and now it's 90, they want to rush to that 90 so they can go and do those dungeons, and they're not as interested in all the landscape stuff, which is interesting, but that's not my style. But there's definitely some people who that is their style. And so there's like things they will do to prepare for that, which boggles my mind. But yeah, I've known people, I've heard of like, they'll go and do a whole bunch of quests or delvings or whatever and have them all like ready. And then as soon as the server has that increase cap, they'll go and turn in all these things and it's just like do, and so they get all this experience really fast. Yeah, speedrunners basically, right, Megan? And I'm like, yeah, but like, what about all this landscape stuff that we're here for? Like, you're just missing out on all of that. I don't know why. Now, there's times when I can appreciate being over leveled for something that we're doing. Like, if I'm level 85 and we're attacking stuff that's level 80, you know, things go a little faster, and I can appreciate that, and I don't mind that. But when our goal is to enjoy the content on level, I'm trying to not go over leveled and like really pass all of that stuff. I'm trying to stay with our group. Like our group is trying to do stuff on level, so therefore I'm trying to stay on level. The only exception to that is because I'm playing a hunter, I like getting those travel skills. And so sometimes if we're in a zone and I'm getting the like the reputation that I need, like because a lot of places I noticed once you get into the higher and higher stuff, you have to have like a minimum reputation with the faction, and then you can go and buy the travel skill using the faction's tokens. So I need to get the rep and I get the tokens, and once I'm at that point, I don't have any problem with letting myself get the level, so that way I can go ahead and buy the travel skill. But then a lot of times I'll go ahead and turtle back up so I don't get too far ahead of the rest of the crowd. Yeah, Hordraric says that speed leveling is a mindset that has been created in MMO in the last 20 years, in the last 20 or so years. Good that Lotro tries to keep the old school feeling. Yeah, that's hang on a second. Yeah, I've noticed that that's a thing that a lot of other MMOs, it's like the only thing that's going on is the end game, right? The whatever the cap is, whatever's happening there, that's where everything is interesting that's happening, and the rest of the world is past. We're like beyond that. We don't do that anymore, and so I noticed that when new people join Lotro and they've come from that experience, and they're like, okay, what's the best thing to do to play at end level, and how do I get there? How fast can I get there? And it's like, whoa, 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 take a breath, slow down. Let us introduce you to this lovely world that you're about to join. Yeah, Hodraric says, I started 2.5 months ago in Lotro, and to me it feels rehab for gaming. I think that's a really good way to put it. Because, yeah, it really, I love the way that so many people in Lotro will say it's about the journey, not the destination. And that's so much how it is in the game. Like there's, the developers have spent a lot of time putting a lot of time and energy into creating really fun and interesting storylines to follow. And so it's so funny like that. Like there's always the memes about not reading the stuff and not reading the quest text and be like, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? It's like, did you not read? Did you not hear what this person just told you? We're yeah. So so Lotro, it's good to stop and read the quest text and stuff like that. So I do. It's funny when I do festivals. The first time I do the quests, I will read through them and so hear what these characters are telling me about where I'm at and what's going on. But then I do kind of sometimes just be like, okay, but every once in a while I'll go back and read it as I'm doing it again. Not that I've necessarily forgotten what they said, but it's just, I don't know. I love the flavor, all the flavor that they put in. So yeah, Jinjar says I don't read the text once I have done the quest a few times. That's what I'm saying. Like I will sometimes just kind of like, but then there's also times I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stop and smell the flowers today and read all the things. Yeah, and Megan points out that it is nice that you can take it slow if you want, but also zoom if you're a fast player. Like Lotro is pretty versatile. It's so funny when you hear Severlin, who's the SSG executive producer, so the guy who's in charge of all of this, and he'll talk about how Lotro players are so diverse. There's so many different things that people want to do. Like, you have people that all they want to do is get housing stuff and decorate their houses, and that's their main focus, or cosmetic outfits and that sort of thing. Like, that's more my jam. Do festivals. There's this whole music thing in the game, so you can play music. I use Songbook, and you can put on an instrument and you can play music in the game, and then you can say words while you're playing the music, and so it's as if you are singing while you're playing the music, right? So how cool is that? Water hot is a noble thing. So there's people who basically their whole time in Lotro is just playing music, just creating music, organizing, having multiple characters of their own, perhaps, or organizing with other players to play music together as a band or do solo stuff. And, so like these are all these different things. And that's not even including people who are like wanting to do these end game raids, people who want to do PvMP, people who want to quest through the whole game. And yeah, like Hordrarix says, I'm playing as a completionist. Only move to a new map once all the quests in the current map are done, using the Lotro Companion add-on to check my progress. Nice. Yeah, exactly. B4 and I also enjoy the completionist lifestyle. And so to that end, he actually put together Deed Tracker, which is a plugin. And it mimics let's see, here we go, the deed log, the in-game deed log, but it gives you more information. So, for example, Eriador, and let's see, what am I looking at? I just happen to have the Lone Lands open here. So, it shows me, okay, this, like, the in-game deed log shows me where I'm at and what I haven't completed. And then I can also look at which ones have I completed, and it shows me all of that there too. But a lot of times they kind of like chain one to the next to the next. So, for example, Deeds of the Lone Lands is completed by doing Explorer of the Lone Lands, which is completed by, so it's like you've got all these different like nesting. And so he went ahead and put those nestings here because, like, if you look at, just like Orc Slayer, okay, cool. It tells me what happens when I finish Orc Slayer, which, oh, I'm only 4 away. Nice. But it doesn't, like, I have to go further in to be like, well, what am I missing? So, like, here I can see Deeds of the Lone Lands. Oh, I need to complete Slayer and I need to complete Explorer. Okay, well, what are those? And so forth. So I really like how the Deed Tracker just lays it all out for me. The other thing that's really nice in Deed Tracker, well, a lot of nice things actually, you can see your progress. So, like, in the Shire, I have done 94% of the quests in the Shire. What am I missing? Oh, Deeds of the Shire and No Place for Spoiled Pies. Oh, I haven't finished the pies on this character? Oh, how funny. All right, I'll have to go back to that at some point. But yeah, so I can just at a glance look at this and see what deeds I haven't completed. So it's not completionist for quests, but it is completionist for deeds here. Another cool thing is it shows me how much Lotro points and how much virtue experience I still have left to earn in an area. So if I'm like, man, I really wish I had more of, one or the other, I can be like, oh, hey, you know what? There's a whole lot of stuff here that I can go and dig into. So, and then there's also a search button, search bar, which there is not in the in-game version. Now, I know they're working on changing the in-game deed log, and they published one, but it had some issues. So they reverted back to the previous one, which is lovely, and I will be sad when they replace it because I do like the look of it. I love the little drawings at the bottom of each page. That show you the different region that you're in. I love that. And that'll be really sad that that'll be gone. But The fact that like there's a little teeny image in that circle there, that is not easy to tell. And you can hover over it and it will tell you, but I can, I mean, I can see why this doesn't seem that functional. And they've run out of room, so now they're starting to curve around the side. So, I mean, I get it. Um, but it was kind of sad that like because this looks like a book, right? It looks like the, old yellowish pages of a book, and the new one was like white and blue, and yeah, it just didn't have the same, you know, it just didn't have the same character, and so that was kind of sad. But anyway, so yes, I we are definitely doing our completionist characters over on Treebeard, and so it's really fun because you can see all of these bars are like filled up, and up to the point where we are, in the game, and so that's kind of fun. I think we are over on Treebeard. It's the Strongholds of the North. Is that where we are? Oh, yeah, we're coming into. We haven't gotten to Dale yet. So now this is the. I mean, this isn't the same character, so don't worry about this. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, so. So Hordaric says once SSG starts the UI or some of it, the game's gonna look amazing. Also said the engine is not very supportive for plugins as some other games. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So SSG has been working through pieces of the UI. At first, they were going to do, Severlin was talking about, this is like 4 years ago or something, that they were going to do a UI overhaul because they want to support 4K. But then they realized that doing it all at once isn't going to work. Yes. Oh my God. Oh, jinx. Yeah. You have a lot of friends that have issues with trying to play with a 4K monitor. Exactly. And Severlin himself plays with a 4K monitor. So, like, he definitely is personally invested in getting this to be 4K compatible. The problem is, like, so for example, take all these buttons on my hotbars down at the bottom there. So, like, all of those buttons over there. Every one of those is a little image. And if you blow it up, it looks terrible. It only looks good as it is because that's the way it was done. So every single one of those things has to be redone. Hey, Demelza. Don't mind as I lurk and eat. Hi. Welcome. Good to see you. So yeah, so every one of these images through the game, all the little buttons, have to be recreated. They can't just be, blown up to work for different sizes. So they've got to start all over, basically. So they've been doing pieces of the UI over time. For example, the water, they did a whole bunch of stuff with water. And I'm wondering if I'm not on... Hang on, let me look at my settings here. Graphics. I'm on high. I wondered. Let me go to... Oh no, I want everything to be in ultra. Hang on. Go to big good stuff. Make good. There you go. Put everything in ultra high for a minute. I know my computer can handle it, so. So yeah, let's just hop down here and go look at the water. They did a bunch of stuff with the water at one point, and I mean, you can see how it's moving, how it's reflecting. And this is old water, so this isn't even some of the new stuff they've got. Like, if you went to further home, holy moly, those waves crashing in and everything, I was like, how did they do that? But here you can see, like, the ripples around me. Yeah, there's been a lot of work, and even this, I feel like this isn't even their best work with the water, to be honest. And this is even just amazing and gorgeous. So, yeah, that's so good. Go to Everswim. So anyway, so they're working on it in like pieces, in chunks. And so every so often they'll be like, hey, this has been updated. Hey, this has been updated, that sort of thing. I'm wondering, can I even get back up there? That's a bit of a wall. I think I'm going to ride around my house. Let's see. I haven't jumped over the wall at this house before. Ah, okay, cool. That wasn't too bad. Okay, so if we do lead a little swimming group, then it won't be too bad. Anyway, another thing is I really hope they don't ever lose the artistic style of this game. So, for example, to me, it looks like, well, here, just like kind of look around. I mean, this looks like a painting to me, right? Just looking out, seeing the landscapes, the colors, the details. It really feels like I'm running around inside of a painting. And I don't want that to ever get lost for, I don't know, hyper realism, shading, whatever it is. So I hope that they don't end up feeling like for some reason they've got to change the style to match some quote unquote modern gaming. Because I like the way it looks and I don't want them to change it. Don't go changing. So anyway, yeah, so let's see. Okay, so where was I? I was checking out what it looks like when we come through here. How do I... So we walk in, badam. So I think I want to move... The problem is, how far can things come? All right, let's pick up that and turn it into something else. What do you want to be? I think we may end up having to not end up with the swan garden for now. All right, how far can I push this over? All right, that's decent. Let's just leave that over there for the moment. How far can we push these trees over? The other way. That's pretty good. Okay, we can make some progress with that. And then... Now this was fun though. I like that I could see this from the road, so I don't necessarily want to move that. That's okay. I think we can leave it there. Let's see what's in this spot. Ah, yeah, the food. So, I mean, it's not a Hobbit party without food. So I'm like, we gotta have the food. So let me get the picnic blanket and maybe move that further towards the middle also. But maybe back towards the house. And then we can move this towards the house also. What if we put it by the front door, maybe? All right, we'll just set that there for the moment while I think about this. Okay. What's here? What's that guy? All right, well, we're getting closer, but I still feel like it's not right. It's still not right. Hey, Poteen, welcome. I'm trying to set up a summer house for hopefully an event. I should just go ahead and schedule the date on this. June was really busy. So, and May was kind of busy too, actually. May was busy and I was waiting for June, and June was busy and I was waiting for July to get things done. Well, now it's July, so I got to get things done. That's where we're at. So, I want to schedule monthly, like, jam sessions where people can brainstorm out ideas and thoughts about how they want to do songs and lyrics and whatnot. And then I want to set the date for this event, which I'm thinking it's got to be near the end of August. So mid to end of August. So I need to get that on the calendar so people can go ahead and get planning for that. I think we're going to put that back. I think, do I want to move it? Maybe in just a smidge. But yeah, I think the road's feeling too claustrophobic there. So I want to funnel people in, but I don't want them to feel pressured. So, yes, Poteen says, yeah, right. And Megan says, the music events are so fun. Making music in this game is the most fun I've had. I know, and I really want to use my time as May Queen to encourage people to really engage with that. And maybe, like, I know I have a gazillion songs in my head or that I've started and whatnot. And I would love to help encourage people to make progress on stuff. Is that two of the same tree? Oh, it's not. They just look similar. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if I should switch. I should switch them. That'll be prettier. Okay, hold on. All right, so you come out for a minute. And then you swap a doodle. And then you, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Which tree was it? Oh no, it moved. It was, no, it wasn't that one. Oh, I still want to put that out though. Was it this one? I might have been. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So now we just got to figure out where they're going again. All right, so this one, I had it a little closer to the road, but not encroaching. So maybe there. I'll try that. Oh, Poteen, thank you. The freebie for this week is a gray dye, and the code is Gray Wizard. I love that code. It's so funny because I am like a dye hog. I love collecting dyes. And then, but I think I have plenty of gray dye, so I haven't actually redeemed that code. But yes, there's also a lot of other stuff. Yeah, Mithrandir, I know, right? But I think people would misspell Mithrandir, so Grey Wizard is good enough. Oh, Poteen says Megan, I'm not much of a music maker, but I'm a patron of the Lotro art. I like it. Yeah, it's quite funny. The badgers that play on Meriadoc, the Brandy Badgers, and they rehearse on like every other Monday night, and so I like to go and listen to that when they're performing. It's their practice, which is so much fun. And then sometimes though they'll be like, hey, you're welcome to like join the group if you want to, and then you could be a part of this and you could perform with us and all that. And I'm like, I would love to. Two problems. One, my schedule is variable, and I don't always know if I'm going to be available or not, and so I would feel weird not being able to commit to anything. And then two, there would be more, somebody's got to be an audience, right? Otherwise you end up with all players and no audience, and that's not good, right? Okay, I think we're getting closer. So I think I'm just realizing what would be nice if I have enough of hooks is to be, hang on, let me get some of this out of the way. And Demelza says, I'm a badger, but such a slacker myself, so I feel you. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I'm fine being an audience member for now. Okay, so what if we do some tall things as you're coming in, but this arch draws you in, hopefully. And then once you get past the arch, basically you find yourself with like large things further back, but shorter things further in. So it really creates that kind of like hug that I'm trying to accomplish. So let's put this tree back, this tree grouping back there. And then this is the Old Man Willow, but I'm going to change that out. We're going to use, no, not the Swan Fountain. You need to not be there. And we're not going to use these guys, I don't think. Let's see, we've got that Midsummer Stable, which I picked up by mistake, but I think we're going to leave that out for now. Where'd my little guy go? What was it called? The something, oh, there it is. Garden Perch of the Silent Hunter. Okay, we're going to bring that out because that's super cute. And we'll just tell people that the guy's not going to eat them or anything. He's fine. But maybe he shouldn't be so close to the road because that might scare people. So let me move him back a little bit. So maybe around there, and yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Potina Bowen says, I know it's off topic, but how do you feel about the Hunter rework? I haven't been, and this is to the chat, to everybody, so everybody feel free to pitch in here. But I'll tell you, like I said, I've been on kind of not, yeah, free of brain. So I haven't been engaging with it. So I don't know what's the status, like what's changing, what's not changing. And I'm okay with that. I'll find out what happens when it happens. Honestly, you know what's going to happen. It's like what happens every time. Some people are going to be happy with some of the rework. Some people are going to be mad about some of the rework. And then the rest of us are going to be in the middle where we're going to be like, oh, I like these things. I don't like these things. But I'm going to live with it. So I'm fine. I've been sad recently because I noticed that this is like maybe 6 months ago, a year ago. I noticed that my hunter wasn't really as effective as she used to be. And I primarily play hunters because I love the travel skills, and I'm also just very familiar and comfortable with the skills that I have, and it's taken me forever to learn all my skills, and I still even forget what I have. So, I just kind of play the hits, honestly. So I've wished that my hunter was stronger or, whatever, just in like general attacking. Like I can do a series of things where I do camouflage, and so that makes me invisible. And then I do burn hot, and that gives me extra range damage. And then I do improved focus, which gives me more range damage and critical multiplier on my bow skills. And then I'll do something like a Heart Seeker if I'm just going after one character, which does a lot of damage. Or I'll do like a Rain of Arrows if it's a group. And so with that combo, I can do a lot of damage. But that takes a few moments to set up. So, that's fun to do if we're getting ready to go into something and we want to take out a bunch of things, or we're working our way through somewhere and it's a little difficult. I can be effective in that way. But my skills pretty much have all inductions. And so it takes time for me to do stuff. So once the flow of battle has started and we're like, and stuff's happening, B4 and I usually play together, and so B4 usually plays a minstrel, and his minstrel seems very much more effective than my hunter in those moment-to-moment situations. Whereas my hunter used to seem like she was still being reasonably effective, but the reason I noticed it was sometimes I'll go and do some further adventures. To get work on the legendary item reward track because that gives you LI experience. And I was doing that. Hi, baby. This is Casper, by the way, for those who haven't met the guy. Hi. You're looking towards me, which is great, but people on stream can't see your face. You know that. What if I scratched you over here? Oh, there we go. Oh, there's some face. So this is Casper. He's got a lot of, now he's falling under. He's like, yeah, give me that. He's got white paws. Yes, you do. He's got little white paws and white on his chest. Whereas Kato does not have white paws. No, she doesn't. She has a little bit of white on her chest, but no paws, no white paws. Whereas this guy has white on his paws. So if you ever are trying to figure out which cat is which, if they show you their paws, then you'll be able to tell the difference. Their stripes are also different. He's more splotchy. She's more stripy. Oh, did I disconnect? So hopefully I didn't miss something there. Okay, cool. Looks like my chat function just tried to restart. So hopefully I didn't miss anything in the chat. But yes, so Casper's being cute. Aren't ya? You're often cute. He is usually cute. You buddy. Yes, you are. Anyway, so I was doing some further adventures, and I was doing it by myself. And I noticed that I was really, like, it was taking a long time to do it on my hunter. And I was like, what is going on? And then I switched and I did it on a minstrel and it went really fast. And I was like, whoa, there's a definite difference going on that wasn't there previously. So from a meta perspective on the Hunter rework, I'm looking forward to my Hunter hopefully being more effective again. And I don't care how they get me there, whether it's changing my skills or, I don't have any strong opinions on those details. But yeah, but I would like to be more effective again. So yeah. Oh, I don't need to do that anymore. Sorry, just cleaning up my bar. I had some cosmetic pets on there, which I didn't mean to. Yeah. What about you guys? How do you feel about the Hunter rework? And isn't there another one also being reworked? Burglar, maybe? I tell you, I've never been able to figure out how to do a burglar effectively. So it would be cool if there was a way to, know how to do that. Oh, no, I want to move the trees. The trees are a little... Do we want them? Oh, that might be kind of nice. Maybe back just a touch? I don't know. I think I want to bring them back forward again. Because what if they're like that? And what if we turn them a little bit? I think I like that way. That kind of creates like a... Yeah. So, okay, so now I need something where that sundial is, basically. So sundial's moving. We already knew this, though, right? Like, this is not a surprise. Now, what if I do matching trees? Okay, so hold on. Oh, sorry. Gotta get around this table. What if we... Oh, that tree garden is just so gorgeous, isn't it? And then, okay, so what's that thing called again? No, you. You're a small grove of flowering spring trees. Is that what you are? Yeah. So what if we did matching trees here? Kind of bring that in just a smidge. From that side to that side. It feels different. Something doesn't feel right. Maybe like that. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, so Dem confirms that, yeah, it's a burglar. Okay, cool. Hordorg says, I'm happy with my runekeeper. That's fair. Demelzo was, I was testing Nazgul on Bullroar last night. And testing Nazgul? What? And those burglar changes really disoriented me. Just what you want when Nazgul is coming for you. No. Okay, so what if that's like that? And then I have to figure out what's going on with these tables. But then if the idea is that we want people to be able to play music here, and then people are going to be dancing and stuff in here. So this tree and this tree kind of help. Okay, I think this one needs to be a little closer to the edge. But aside from that, I think we are approaching a really good spot on this. So this is good. All right, we're going to push you a little closer to the edge. Oh, and we'll have to bring you back just a little. There we go. Okay, we'll try that. Okay, and then, so, the table has got to move somewhere. Now, next question is, do I have all of the food together, or do we make it like a little food here, a little food there? Like, do I scooch this? Yeah, I don't know. So in my yards, I have a tendency to put food everywhere, but that's just because I made like 15 breakfast tables at one point and realized that there weren't 15 people's worth of, nobody wanted them. It was like I made too many. I went nuts. There was too many. So my yard just became breakfast tables. But that's not necessarily everything you want. Okay, so you come through here and all right, it's not perfect, but it's a lot darn closer. I think I might need something else tree-ish here instead of the breakfast table, maybe. I mean, I could put the Silent Hunter here instead. And then, yeah. Because it's more fun when all the food's together, near each other, I think. I think the food near each other is better because everybody's going to want to stand near each other and munch, 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 munch. So I think that's, yeah. So the breakfast table is definitely not going to be there. So then the question is, do I have... I don't want to put the Old Man Willow there. That's not quite right. Do I have something else small that I want to put in place of that breakfast table? And the answer is, I'm sure I do, but I might need to go through my bags and come up with some inspiration. You know what, though? What if... I got an idea, though, of something that was already kind of on my mind. Okay, so picnic blanket, grab that. Right, let's move some stuff up so it's obvious what I do. All right, and then swap this for the picnic blanket. And what if I put it in this little grove of trees? I noticed this open spot here, which just looks like it's calling out for a picnic there, doesn't it? Doesn't it just look like it really goes there? Let's... What is it you don't like? What? Oh. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Hopefully you'll stay. I can't push the save button on it because it's like, no, it's too far from its spot. But hopefully it will just resolve and be good there. All right. Like, seriously, that picnic blanket in the trees, it just looks perfect. Now, if I can't get it to stay there, I could probably keep it in the shade here. I feel like this Lynx needs to be further in. Maybe he's happy there. All right. Oh, and then we still need to deal with that great lily. It's lovely, but it's not staying there. Something else is going to go there, though, that will help make the performance space work. Now, I could put a little dais there. I just don't like any of them. None of them seem whimsical enough for me. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, well, you know what? I think this is good progress. So let me see if do I have these sand castles anywhere? We're going to do a little gathering into the bags if I can. Okay. Well, at least we made some progress with that. And then, yeah, so nice thing is I've started labeling my carryalls. So I've got like walls and lighting is generally this one. So things that hang from walls or area lighting, stuff like that. You're asking if I have the Hobbit one. And I think I do. Though I could, well, let me see. All right, it's not there. What's the next one? Walls and lights, probably not going to be here. Yeah. How about this one? Radiant basin, yeah, okay. Why do I have radiant basins in more than one place? No. In fact, I'm not even sure if I need more of that many of them. Come here. I'll tell you what, though, I think this has now got a spot. It's going to grab all of those sand castles. I thought I did, but I'm not sure where. Well, if it's not in a carryall, Maybe I don't. I think I looked at it, I just didn't like it. But you think it's cute? I don't know. Or I could put something there that's like... Oh, anyway, so coming back to this from like an hour and a half ago. So this is one of those Rohirric fire pits, but it's the one that's got like chunks and then you could run through it. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny to stick it in here? And so like it's blocked there and you're blocked here, but this fiery piece is in the middle and you can get around it. So I just thought that was really funny. I also could switch out the I could put out the table. I could switch out the arch. Although the Midsummer arch is nice. I might just leave it. Oh, I came in here because I was going to look in my stuff. Hang on. Can I jump from here? Where's it going to land me? Cool. That's exactly where I want it to be. Okay, so let's see. Shared housing. You know, if I have it, I don't know where it is. Unless I'm spelling it wrong. I'm spelling it wrong. If it's AI, I've been spelling it IA. That's a potential thing. AI. Yeah. DAI. DAI. Well, apparently I don't have it in any of those either. Let's check and see if it happens to come out. DAI. Nope. And if I spell it the other way too? No. Okay. Maybe I don't have one of those then. What else do I have? Did I empty out this housing storage? Oh, look at that. I had put a bunch of stuff in here because I was making this the Yule house, but then I switched. And so I grabbed all the Yule stuff and took it to the Rohan house. Although I didn't take these Yule gifts. They're not there yet. I think I ran out of room, to be honest. See, I would put one of the floating lanterns there, but I would want two of them because I would want them to be balanced, you know? So if I put anything out there, it's got to be something where it's solo and thus unbalanced. Or I have to take up another hook and put something else there on the other side. Oh, wow, there's some mule stuff in here still, yep. Yeah, I think I'll have to just see if something else, like, grabs my attention to go there. Could be a food thing, could be another tree. Like, I've got a couple trees here. Could be just something else entirely. I think I will leave it at this point for now. And then my idea, and it hasn't been realized here yet, is to put like a bunch of cozy furniture here, and not this carpet. This carpet is actually quite hideous. So I need to swap that out. But so like we've got, you know, all the storage of foods and stuff here, and then I wanted to put some cozy furniture here and make it like a cute little sitting area where people could come and hang out. Could put a streamer there, but I like the streamers in pairs. The fish pond could go out there. I'll have to think about it. Anyway, so that space is still really, the interior space is still work. Yeah, it's in progress. It's not ready. But yes, that lily will be moving here. I'll just go ahead and put it somewhere else for now. Let's just slide you over to like in those trees or something. I don't know. There we go. There. Okay, so let's start this from the beginning. Let's take one more look and see what we think. All right, so you've been invited to a gathering. You teleport in or come by pony and probably arrive in this area. All right, so you see a bunch of trees, a lot of similar looking trees, but maybe that's okay. You come rolling down here, go through the archway, and see a place to hang out and gather. Okay, the food I think will be better if it's clustered together over here on this side of the doorway. So I think that'll be the next step is to, oh yeah, the picnic blanket got pushed back again. That's a shame. Okay, so we're going to end up moving the food over here, hopefully, depending on how the hooks roll. How far can you go? Okay, that ain't bad. And the breakfast table. Maybe I should grab a Bjorn's loaded table. Those are good. Those are always nice. But this would be okay for now. And what am I missing? There was one more, wasn't there? Oh, the picnic blanket. Okay, yeah, we need one more food over here for sure. Because 2 tables is not enough. And also, yeah, this setup is not right. No. Oops. No, sorry. Not that. Alright, let's turn this so like that for now, and then... So I want people to be able to get all the way around it and stuff, you know? I don't know, do you think lining them up is right? Or, I don't know. Alright, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I think another food table is another food and or drink situation is what's needed over here. But aside from that, I think we're good. And I could take the Great Lily hook to put out more food. Okay, so I think that'll do for today. So thanks for coming along and helping me, or at least watching me while I'm decorating my house. I think it's looking much better, though. I think it's in a much better place for the event, so that'll be good. So now I just need to pick a date and get it published, and we'll be good. And then I'll probably fix the food thing, because that's still not quite right. It's still not right. I know, I'm going to be fussing with this for a while, I think. What if I just turn it the other way and turn this the other way? Yeah, that might be nicer. That kind of works better, I think. So anyway, if there's anything last minute and you want to talk about in the chat, throw it in the chat right now. Yeah, I know, right? You sound like me. I know, like, oh, but well, maybe well, yeah. It's close, but no, not quite. Yeah, all of that. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you everybody for coming along, and thanks for coming back after I've been gone for almost a month, basically. So I should be here every week through the rest of the summer, I believe. Don't have any more visitors. Don't think I have any other conflicts. So things like that. And then B4 will be away from streaming through the rest of the summer, though. And I don't think he'll be back on stream until the end of August at the earliest. So how's the heat today? It's actually quite lovely here. It's been a bit sunny, but then it got a bit cool. I actually put on like longer pants because my legs were getting cold. And it's like 21 right now. It's a little overcast. I thought it was going to rain during the stream. But I think we're good. So high of 32 where you are. Oh, aren't you glad you have air conditioning where you're at? I'd rather you have 32 there and air conditioning, and we have the 20s here with no air conditioning. I think that works perfectly. All All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Stay cool if you're in a hot zone, and I will see you next week. All right, take care, everybody. Bye bye.